Yeah, got it. I had to change phones because that one is too low.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's perfect. Much, much better
much
audio.
better.
She
I
got
picked it
two
up with the wrong.
phones.
Yeah.
What is your name,
hmm
by the way?
I'm Angel.
Oh, I'm Doug. I'm Doug MPA.
Hi,
Yeah,
Doug.
Doug, and obviously you know me. My name is Shannon, the man in voice.
China
Doug,
Hi,
Man's
welcome. Yeah,
Channel.
Key.
yeah, Doug, you want to just put forward your question, please?
So one, the double standard. I want to know why do you think that there's a double standard where there's no backlash if a black woman dates or marries a white guy, but there's backlash if a black guy dates or marries a white woman. Number two is, do you think should Michael B. Jordan get backlash for dating this white woman when he tried with Lori Harvey? Three, do you do you think that it is harder to find a younger black woman who wants to settle down than women of other races? So those are my three questions. Pick
I'll,
anyone you
I'll,
like.
I'll let you take that in your first.
Okay, so I was saying that. Sorry, I just had to Google him because I can't remember what he looks like.
Michael B.
But
Jordan? What? Okay.
What? Is that the
I don't.
most handsome black man you can get?
I don't know. Like I don't even see him. Sorry.
Only thing is
Yes.
he's like he says he's five. He says he's 5'11", but he's like 5'9".
I think the movies make him
Listen.
look bigger. The movies make him look bigger, of
Yeah.
course.
Uh-huh. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. So I was saying that generally, me personally, my own preference, I wouldn't. I'm not attracted in that way to the other race. So anyone who is, I have nothing to. I've got no judgment. I just believe that whatever the reason may be for you to end up anywhere else, if you can manage it and you feel attracted to someone, that's up to you. Because remember, you lay down with the person. I feel the same way about anything else. It's like you picking a girl that I may not think is suitable to you. I would not stress you because I would say to you, well, I'm not too sure. But if you pick her, come on, it's you that has to live with her, you that has to lay down with her. All I have to do is support you. So I support him regardless.
Okay.
I don't care
That's awesome.
what the story is. And the same thing with Sierra and whoever else ended up, because we could say Sierra ended up with that guy because people like Future are no good for black women. And yeah, he's a breeder. That's all they ever do. Come on, we haven't got time to waste on that. That's
So
their business.
you don't think that Future's a bad guy to end up with?
I mean, it was bad for her, but when Future decides to actually settle and live and be with somebody and do the right thing, or is it Future? Which one was it? Was it
He
Future
never
that
gonna
had?
wait,
decide. What?
wait, wait,
Future's
wait,
always a
wait,
bad choice.
wait. Hold
Huh?
on.
Say that again.
You think
Future's
that?
got Future's the one with the children. Quite a few
Yeah,
children with
there were
different
like 10
women.
children by like 7 women or something like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bad choice, yes, for her. But what I'm saying is, a man like Future, let's not lie to ourselves. Those children are going to grow up. He's going to get older. When he wants to settle down, as a man, he actually has better options, meaning he can settle down. Those children won't live in that house. He will find himself a nice, young, you know, beautiful wife, settle down, live, and grow old with her. That's what most men who do that do. That's what they do. They
But
get away with it because
but
they reinvent themselves when they're ready to settle
but
down.
I guess I can say if you had a good friend of yours
Hmm.
who was 24 years old, just out of I'm gonna say it out of uni,
Yeah.
you English, um, and 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 let's say Future were 45,
Hmm.
47,
Hmm.
and she were to come at one of your good friends, you would tell her you could be the one that he settles down with. Would you say
No,
that to her?
I would tell my friend, you do not have a child with him unless you've got a ring on it. Like, make sure you're settled, married, happy, content, and you're the wife. Don't have any children for him. His record is there. It's very simple.
So
Don't
even
fall
after
into
like
that
10,
little.
so even after like 10 kids by that time, Future's got yeah. As long as she's got a ring, then that's cool.
No, the point
Uh,
is, he's not. The point is, he's not a lost cause. I've
Well,
seen men.
even after
Yeah,
10 kids and like
I've
6
seen
baby
men.
moms.
I've seen men do that out of misleading conception. Like, if all right, you know where I am right now. Where I am right
Maybe
now, majority
once.
of
We'll
men
give you
will.
once. We'll give you
No, no, no.
once. We'll give you once.
China,
The
look at the
future is still,
dynamics. No,
and even
there's a
like a
difference.
no. Future,
There's
like, I'll be honest with you, yeah. The reason why I don't look at Ciara like a high value woman is because at no point was it ever a good time to date Future. It's never been a good time to
yeah,
date
no,
Future.
She was baby
yeah,
mama number five. Number
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
five.
so there was 4 women before Ciara, right? There was four
yeah,
women, yeah, and she
mm,
still said, you know what? I'm gonna be the fifth without
Keep the
marriage, without
club up.
anything. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
so she's gonna
See,
make herself the fifth baby mama of Future, right? Yeah. Only for him to go and do what Future goes and does. Yeah. Then she's gonna
yeah,
go and attach herself to someone like Russell Wilson, who
mm,
literally, you know, and he's gonna come and clean up the whole mess, and we're gonna act like she didn't know that Future had 4 baby moms before. She was the fifth. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then
And
this
That's
is
what
also,
you
what
call
also,
blinded. That's what you call
there's
blinding love. Yeah, she was
there's
blind,
one last
definitely
piece to it. There's one last piece
blinded
to it.
by.
I've I've been a Seahawks fan my whole life. Okay. Russell Wilson played 10 years on the Seahawks, so I have a strong opinion about this. I used to hate the fact that Russell Wilson and Sierra got married up until like a year and a half ago when I figured out the game. Um,
Okay.
now I don't believe this, but I
Hmm.
told China this. You guys
Okay.
aren't in America, so you don't know how this whole thing works.
Hmm.
Um, Russell, I didn't believe this, but
Okay.
in the consciousness of America, Russell Wilson wasn't considered black. He was married to a white girl before. He's always been, gosh, gee, Willikers, I'm Russell Wilson. Like he was seen as one of those educated lames, right?
Okay.
So they had to change his image. So a lot of times in Hollywood, they do PR couples, especially in the black community, because if you're one of the black couples, you make millions of dollars off of just being together. Okay,
Hmm.
Will and Jada, um, Denzel
Beyonce and Jay.
Washington, yeah, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they make money for just being a concept because
Hmm.
relationships are so far off the beaten path in our community. So what happened was um, Russell Wilson, uh, they came to Sierra and he married Sierra. Now, my father told me, he said, if you see two people together, even if it's toxic, both and they're choosing to be there, they're getting something out of it, even if you don't understand what that is. So
Yeah,
as a friend, if you have a friend in a toxic relationship, you can't tell them nothing. You just have to be there and woo until it all falls
and
apart.
support them.
So I
Yeah,
had to figure out what it was. Russell Wilson got to reinvent himself as being black because all of a sudden he's looking like Deion Sanders, walking around with the
yeah,
sun, with the shades on, the gold chain and stuff, and then
true.
and then Sierra got to clean up her image from being the girl that was sleeping with all the rappers. And then number
Yeah,
three, Sierra's prayer is a real thing. All these 304s are like, oh, I can mess around all I want, and then there's gonna be even Brittany Renner was like, I think that there's a Russell Wilson. They're making hundreds of millions
that's
of
it.
dollars off of that
That's it.
concept.
That's
So
it.
mm,
so Russell Wilson isn't a simp to me. If Russell Wilson and Sierra are at 75 years old, sitting on the porch in their rocking chairs, holding hands, playing with their grandkids, they win. But there's an 80 to 90% chance that Sierra, the only way that can end is Sierra is going to leave him because Russell
200
Wilson
million.
he's not leaving that girl. So what
mm,
I'm saying is, the reason why I bring this up is Russell Wilson seems to me like he's a great guy. Okay, the problem is she has a child by Future. So Future, a scumbag like Future, is going to have an influence in his house.
yeah,
He's Russell Wilson can treat Sierra like a queen, and then one phone call from Future, and he has to spend the whole however long, oh baby, it's okay, cleaning up that mess. One phone call from the baby daddy can ruin your whole stuff. Now,
hmm,
don't get me wrong, I don't feel bad for him because he chose it. But what I'm
hmm,
saying is, like, imagine Future being able to call your kids. Can you
I'm just
imagine?
laughing. I'm just laughing. But at the same time, I also see a little attitude with people like Future. The attitude is it's not my home and I don't care. He's actually leaving that man to raise his child because it's off his hands.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Future with the child since the time they were saying we're co-parenting very
Well,
nicely. I mean, I don't follow these people, so I don't know
he has
anything. But
visitation.
I'm just saying, yeah. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't
Let me
even
take,
know what
let me
that
take
child
it,
looks like
let me take it back
standing
to
beside Future.
let me take it back to
Michael B.
Michael B.
Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah. So in regards to Michael B. Jordan, what I'll say is
Yeah.
I like Future's music, by the way. I just don't think he's a good person. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the comments. Go ahead.
you know if you listen to Future's music and you look at his lifestyle, his music, he is he he doesn't lie about who he is. See what I'm saying to you? So any woman, like I said, so when Ciara got with Future, she was baby number. There was 4 other women that really had kids by him. Any if we take that out of her being Ciara and just take it to the normal woman, if you get with a guy that has 4 previous baby moms, yeah, and you decide to be baby mom number 5, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. So if
Yeah.
my
So
sister,
how
so
about the
for
ones that
example,
have changed? What happens?
if my
Yeah.
sister took
Mm.
herself with no kids and got with a guy that had 4 previous baby moms and made her the 5th, she's an idiot. She's a
Let me
fool.
see something. Let me see
She's
something.
a fool. Yeah, she's a
So
fool. I agree.
so back
And
to
I'll be
Michael.
ashamed of,
Go ahead.
and I'll be ashamed of her. And then on top of that, after she does that, what does he do? He leaves her. Oh, blood. Are you
You
nuts?
know what?
Are you,
China, China, let me
are you
say
nuts?
something. When we were on the live a little while ago, there was a gentleman in here. He lives in America, and I know him and his wife.
Yeah,
Now, he got with his partner,
yeah.
and she had children
How
before.
many? How many baby dads?
I think 2 baby fathers,
Yeah.
and he had his past, so he had about 3 baby mothers before.
No,
Well,
but I'm
they both
talking
had
about
kids though.
that's
They both
blended.
had
That's a
kids.
blended family.
I,
That's
I know what
different.
I know what you're
No,
Nothing to
saying.
do with each
What,
other.
I'm talking about. Ciara had no kids. Yeah, she
yeah,
was still a high class woman, whatever. Yeah, she was
yeah,
still
at the
successful.
time. She
Yeah,
devalued by getting
yeah.
with him. I
And she
understand what you
got
mean.
with a man that had 4 previous baby moms. Yeah,
Yeah,
four,
I understood.
four.
I understood what
Listen
you
to
were
this.
saying.
Listen to this.
I
Listen to this.
understood.
The type of bad decisions you need to have as a man to have 4 separate baby moms, just like a woman. If you have 4 baby dads,
Mhm.
you're disgusting. You let 4
Okay,
separate men
but
And
bunch inside.
can
Listen to it.
I
No,
just say
no. We have to
because
call
I
it
want to
spade a
understand.
spade. Like you got 4 separate babies. As if a woman has 4 separate
Yeah,
babies, you know what that is? That's scandal.
well,
That's
I
like
totally understand.
you
So let me just
and you're
ask you. Then we're
baby.
gonna get to the
That's
question
disgusting.
of what I'm trying to kind of understand because as I said, I know them. So when they got together, whatever, there were problems in the beginning with the whole baby father thing, like the baby father in the beginning, because he then had other children too. So they've been married for 30 years now, or
Yeah.
32 years now. But in the beginning, that was actually the problem and the fight with people saying the same thing, that there's multiple parenting over here and over there. So this is going to be mad, you know? But 30 something years on, like they said, in the beginning, everybody just had to establish what was what, who's what, and what their roles are and what they're doing and what they're not going to accept. The what they're not accept, because I'm listening to what they went through, what
Yeah.
they did together as a partnership was agree. The outside does not come into our home. Because as he just said, that's the infection. So,
No, I think you're saying
no,
something
no, no.
different
I
though.
mean, in their home to ruin their home. That's what would damage Russell Wilson's home.
No,
If what's his name?
no, but what I'm saying is, I'm saying,
What are
what I'm
the
trying to
names?
say is, I'm trying to talk about, someone said in there, why she an idiot, yeah? Because I'm saying, okay, look, I don't have any kids, right, yeah?
Oh, I didn't see the comments. Sorry, I can't see any comments. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
it's fine. So I don't have any kids right now, yeah?
Oh, I can't see
I
any.
need to get with a woman that has 4 kids by 4 separate men, yeah? And I choose to be number 5,
Five.
yeah?
Yeah.
Who,
Mhm.
what the? Everyone's gonna know. Who is gonna take? Would you tell yours? Okay, let me say you got sons. Would you recommend your son that has no kids, your young
comes the
king? Would
ace.
you recommend your young kid gets with a woman that has 4 separate baby fathers, and he's going to become the fifth. Would you advise that? Would you say
I
that's a good
always,
thing
I
for your
always
son?
say, I always say the advice that needed to be given has been given. So I wouldn't advise anything. What my son decides to bring home, we have to analyze, go through it. After we analyze and go through it, and that's not me bullying him and telling him where should put his heart now, because I've already done the teaching. So you already know what I think. You already know how I feel. I don't have to batter him into that.
No,
So
no,
if
no,
Well,
he
no, no.
no,
wants
Hold
no,
on,
to
no,
wait.
no,
So
decide,
I'm
no. I got
asking you,
this.
wait,
Let
remember
me
wait,
he's
say
hold
got
on,
something
no
real quick. Let me
children
say something real
and
quick.
he's got a girl who's got
Look,
children. What I'm
wait,
women
saying
that
is,
women that are
wait.
single mothers are so emotionally invested in the single mother thing that they would sell their sons out for
I
this.
can't
I was
believe what you're
about to,
There
telling
is
I
me.
was
no
about to say,
reason.
I
No,
haven't
you would
finished the
sell your
response.
son
If
out
my
for
son
this.
decides he wants to marry this girl, and that's where I'm coming to, it's not a point of, oh, they're going to cohabitate, live together, and have these bag of children in the house. I just want to know what are you doing? Like, what is it?
Okay, wait. Let's scrap that there. Let's forget that part, yeah?
Because that's what
We're
my
talking
point
about
is. I
advice
don't
now.
do
Let's
single
not
mother business. I don't do
wait.
single
Let's not
mother.
go
I
to
don't agree
marriage.
with
Let's not go
single.
to
I
marriage.
believe in
Wait,
marriage and stability. So
wait,
I
wait,
just
wait,
want to get that
wait.
out there. I
Okay,
believe
cool. All
in
right,
marriage
cool. All right.
and
Angel,
stability.
Angel, Angel,
So we
let me
don't
speak,
just
yeah?
put everybody in one box. We're all different.
Angel,
We're not
okay,
the
cool.
same.
All right, let me get
Mm.
back to the beginning. Forget
Yeah.
marriage for a second, but we're talking about
Right.
fundamentals of what you want for your child. Your
Yeah.
son comes back home and says, Mom, I've met a woman. And you said, okay, tell me about this woman. This woman
Yeah.
is older than your son, and she has 4 children by
Yeah.
by 4 separate
Yeah.
men.
I would not
Yeah?
be happy.
Are you,
We
wait,
know
hold on a
that.
second, wait,
Hmm.
wait, hold
Yeah.
on. Are you going to say to your son, this is this is a good woman to link, or are you going to say
No.
to him, no?
It's
That's
not
what
a
we
good.
want to hear. That's
Yeah,
what we
but
want to hear because
what am I
hold on a
going to
second,
do
hold on a
after
second.
saying that? What
No,
am I
wait,
going?
wait, wait, hold on a second.
That's
Hold
still
on, wait,
important because I would also
wait,
want to
wait.
hear what you would
Angel,
just.
Angel,
What
Angel, Angel,
now?
Angel,
I would
Angel, let
also
me
want
speak.
advice.
Angel,
What should
Angel,
I do
Angel,
if he's in
Angel,
love?
Angel,
Yeah.
Angel. I need to speak because you keep talking. It's not going to work here. I need to speak,
No,
right?
I want
Because I'm
to
trying to.
hear from you what I should
Yeah,
do if
but
he's in love with her
no,
now.
I'm saying I, I can't understand how you don't understand that. What you should do is tell your son to get with a
Yeah.
girl his age who hasn't got any kids.
Yeah, yeah.
How are
I
you?
would tell
But
him
wait
that.
a minute. How are you
Yeah.
going to let your young king bring a woman that's got 4 separate baby fathers, and you're not going to say to him, "Get that skank out of my
Yeah.
house"?
But I would, no, but what I want to know is what would I do now after telling him that? And he's still with the girl and he's
No,
sneaking and
no,
seeing
no,
her
no, no,
because
no.
he lives
No,
in his own home.
you're creating other scenarios. I'm simply saying
Yeah.
the
But I've already
advice you
told him
give.
this.
So if
Yeah.
my sister came home with a guy and he had
Yeah.
4 separate baby mothers, we're ending that thing because you're not about to be the fifth, right?
Right.
So I don't understand how as a mother you would not say to your son that that woman is not a good choice for his life. Because look at the choice
No, but
he's made.
I didn't say I wouldn't tell him. What I'm saying is I just wanted to know how would I go about them splitting?
What do you mean?
Well,
She's
hold,
adopted
He
woman.
lives in his own home.
China, real quick,
So
real quick,
they
real
would
quick.
probably
Don't,
hide and still see
Angel,
each other, right? If they're in love.
Angel. No, Angel.
What would happen?
Never underestimate the power of a mother's disapproval of
Of
of a
someone.
potential woman in his life,
I've seen it.
just like the father's approval
Four baby,
of his
four baby
daughter's
girls. Man.
boyfriend. It goes a long way, especially when you're young. There are
Yeah.
guys who
Yeah.
are young and they'll be like, what does Justin Bieber say? My mama don't like you and she likes everyone. That's
Yeah.
a true thing.
Yeah.
If your son is young, he will your approval matters to him up to a point. So use that
Yeah.
approval. Don't use it very often, but make sure that you use it as a nuclear
That.
option. Sit down with them and say, look, because daughters do that with their fathers. There are plenty of
Yeah.
daughters who say,
But I
my
communicate.
dad doesn't like
I
you.
communicate. Yeah, we communicate. So as I said, I don't just shout. I listen. I want to hear what is it. I want to hear everything. But as I said, he lives in his own home. So if they're gonna sneak and still be with each, he knows he can't come back to my home like that with that situation. So what's going to happen? And the reason why I'm saying this, China, is because I'm looking at so many different things I've seen friends go through. One girl that I knew from school, she had bodies almost like what you were talking about with the 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was getting married to a guy who had literally just left home. And let's just say, I think he lost his virginity in uni.
Yeah.
It was a late one. His mother didn't like my friend, obviously. Not
Of
even
course you
friend, but
would.
we went to school together.
He's a
So
local buy.
she,
He's a
yeah,
local buy.
but I'm just gonna say she was obviously not the right picking. I could agree with that. But this is now 18 years later, they're still married. So the mum said, I'm not coming to the wedding. She turned up in a funeral outfit. She did everything she could.
Yeah.
They got married and had 7 children, 18
Yeah.
years on. So I'm
Wait,
just saying,
were
But
either
she
one of
still
you
if
got
your
single
son
parents?
husband.
then,
No, no, but what you're telling me a story of a reconditioned whole. Like, there's lots of stories of that. So all
yeah.
you're telling
So
me
I'm
is,
just saying,
okay,
like, these things always seem to happen where the mum goes mad, but the son still stays with this
no, but okay,
girl or
all right, cool.
hides.
All right,
They
listen to
always
this. Listen to
hide
this.
or continue
No,
or
I'll
say
be
to the
honest with
mum,
you. I'll be
Mum,
honest
I'm
with
in
you.
love. Forget you, mum. I love her. And then they disappear. And they
Yeah,
don't
but
see the son for however many years and they're
yeah,
still
but
married.
you
And
do
you're like,
realize,
huh?
yeah, but you do realize that's because they raise feminine boys, right? Because if you do that, if you run off with
Yeah,
a woman and you leave your it's because you're feminine. No man leaves his mum for a woman. That's some Prince Harry business. You know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, it's a very feminine thing to do. Like, to be like, oh, you know, no, you can love your woman, but the love for your family is different. It's a different type of love.
yeah,
You know what I'm trying to
yeah,
say to you. So,
definitely.
what I'm trying to talk about is that the reluctancy to understand why. I don't understand what is hard to understand that if a woman has 4 separate baby fathers,
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
and
I
I meet
understand.
her, like chances are, like I don't understand why you don't understand that me saying that I don't want to be the 5th baby father
In
is not
in
good.
I,
Like, I
in
think
but I
China,
didn't say I don't understand.
China,
I
but
understand.
China, and Angel.
100%.
But think about this. He's saying four. Angel,
Yeah,
what you're talking about is maybe like one. Okay, we live in the modern world here.
yeah,
Okay,
one,
like
two.
I've seen. I don't recommend. I'm fair. I think that I don't have any children myself. I think that
Okay,
people with children should deal with each other. I don't think a woman without kids should deal with a man with kids. I don't think a man with kids should deal with a
vice
woman
versa.
with. I'm equal with that. But what I'm saying,
Right.
like, um, a mate, I'll concede to you maybe one, but China's talking
Mm-hmm.
about
yes, but
Four.
the
Yeah,
thing
no,
about
the
this,
four thing is crazy. I've not even seen the dynamic.
if
if she got
if
5 baby
Not even
daddies,
seen it.
yes, she's no good. If she got 5 baby daddies, yes. And if he's got 5 baby moms, yes, he's no good too. Of course.
Same
You
thing.
think you might
Mm-hmm.
be 5 baby moms? What? If you've got 5 baby moms, you do not exercise sexual discipline.
yes,
Like, that's you falling. So these types of
Mm-hmm.
man, yeah, man can't trust you because you can't even trust your seed. You're reckless. You're reckless.
yep,
Like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
think. You
and
like.
also
So man like that, just like girls like that, you can't trust them because they're reckless. And people like don't. If you don't value your seeds, yeah, and
Think
you can,
before you,
nah,
yeah,
we can't do
before you
business
make life
together.
Angel,
choices.
You can't
Mm-hmm.
buy
there's a
my business now.
concept. There's a concept I like to push. You only
Yeah,
have a. You were in school. There was a pie chart,
yeah,
and a pie chart is 100%. And that
yep.
your pie chart is 100% of your time and effort at any given time. The
At
problem
everything.
with women who sleep around and are reckless is that too much of their pie chart is taken up by the recklessness and that bad mindset. It's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with men that chase a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
They a lot of their time and energy that should be put in towards being productive. And I'm not talking about future anymore. I'm talking about in general. It's being taken
Mm-hmm.
up by chasing women. That's why
Wait,
we're just talking about future, but like the average people down here with us, an indicator a man is not going to be a good man is if he has 4 baby mamas. In the name of fairness and equality, it's the same thing with a woman that has 4 baby fathers because that situation is taking up too much of their time and effort. That woman
Yeah.
couldn't give your son any more than maybe 15 to 20% of her time. And he
Mm-hmm.
deserves a woman that'll give him 100%. Understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I want you to start looking at life from that 100% of time and effort at any given time and always be aware of what is in those pieces of your 100%. People that
hey,
have a
Mm-hmm.
Dom,
lot of, huh?
it's like this, yeah. It's like same thing. Like the types of women that have 4 baby fathers, they don't tend to be best in the best social economic ladder. And the types of men that have 5 baby mothers and that, yeah, I'll be real, it's very rare that most men that got 5 baby mamas are doing really well in life, and each baby mother
100%.
has a high quality standard of life. Right? It's actually,
Yeah.
in actual fact, it tends to be that maybe one will get me, and the rest of them are all gonna fall flat. Right?
Yeah.
So when I hear a man got 5 baby
Poor
mamas,
distribution.
I'm not about to see a man. Normally, it's not, but people in financially great positions, right? It actually says a lot about you. So you can't exercise sexual discipline then. Financially, you have 5 separate households you have to provide for. Do you know how much money you
Yeah.
have to? You have to be a bit.
It's not easy at
Basically, no.
all.
You have to be a multi-millionaire actually to
Yeah.
have 5 households to do it properly.
And
To
then
do it properly.
not only
You can't
that,
have any financial advisor and saying that I've got 4
Can't
baby
even
mamas.
give
You
the
need to be a
distribution of
multi-millionaire.
and,
But this is my name.
time.
and not only that, but now more than ever, you have children. You know how it is. Like a parent being present is more important now more than ever.
Yeah,
Because
that's even.
like right around the teenage years, it used to just be your teenage friends with a problem, but I call it anti-parenting. There's more anti-parenting now more than ever. Right when your child gets a smartphone, the anti-parenting starts, and a mother and a father need to be in the home as much as possible. And if a guy
Yeah.
has 4 kids by 4 baby moms, if you look at the statistics, most of them are going to be in trouble when they get older. Understand what I'm saying? So, but back to Michael B. Jordan. Um,
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
was saying.
What
So,
was?
like, for example, right? So
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
when we look at Michael B. Jordan and
Yeah.
where we can look at him currently, he's probably one of the most high value black men on TV. And you know what I'm trying to say to you? I
Gotcha.
can't think of any race of women, especially black women, that would not want to be with Michael B. Jordan. Not only want to be with Michael B. Jordan, would not want to marry him. So
But what does he
obviously,
do? What does he
wait,
do?
he's an actor. He's an actor. He's a major actor, Hollywood actor, top
Oh,
A-list actor. He's
oh,
like
okay.
a young, he's like
That's
a
what
young,
I've seen.
he's like a young Will Smith, basically. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
what defines
I've
him up.
seen him.
Right.
I just didn't realize what I
Yeah.
forgot. Sorry. Yeah.
So obviously, he's before Laurie Harvey, which is Steve Harvey's adopted daughter, the one that's
Yeah.
always the blogs and always in.
Don't really know her very well.
So
Yeah.
we started dating her, and this was after Laurie Harvey has been linked to Future. Well, she dated Future, linked to Bill, P Diddy, and his
P
son.
Diddy and P Diddy's son.
Yeah, so countless people. So she was basically known as just she's outside, isn't it? You get me? She's a 3 or 4.
Yeah.
She's like a young Brittany Renner. She was getting that name.
China.
So now,
If I can say one thing, she's one of those where she's famous for being famous.
yeah,
Yeah. For
Like,
doing the
what
wrong
skills
things
does
to
she
be
have?
famous.
But I'm sorry,
Yeah.
China. Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she's just famous for being famous. She's just like a young Brittany Renner outside, linked to all these high profile rappers. And namely P Diddy and his son. So she dated P Diddy and his son, right?
Oh,
Cool.
father and son.
Father and son, right? All right, cool. So after all of that, she
Wow.
now started dating Michael B. Jordan, and there were a lot of there's still a lot of black women happy, but at the same time, a lot of black women were very angry because of obviously Laurie Harvey and her record and why have you not. Now, for Michael B. Jordan,
So,
I looked at it as like, I'm like, damn, you picked her, but at the same time, I'm gonna look at him as someone like he's not from where we're from. So he's gonna pick and he's gonna see the good in her regardless of all the other stuff. And when he picked her, he showed her off. He didn't just pick her and kept her in the back. No, he
Yeah.
was taking her back. They were doing his and hers, there was a war, they were doing all the pictures and what have you stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So he wanted to take it to the next level. He wanted to take it to the next level. He wanted to get engaged. He wanted to propose to her. She rejected the proposal and she broke up with him. Yeah. So obviously she's broken up with him now. Cool. And then now she's been linked to Damson Idris, our young king. Damson Idris, the actor. Now they're dating, and it's all Lauren Harvey and Damson Idris. And it's
He was
like,
with that one white guy first. The What's Poppin' guy. Who does the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial? Jack Harlow first.
oh yeah, sure. Jack
These
Harlow,
people-
the white kid, the white.
Like,
That looks like, yeah. So
yeah, I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
yeah.
I'm putting it all in here. Go on.
So they take it in. So now she rejected him, right? And now she started to take Damson Idris. I can see all the shade bubble. Everyone's loving it. All the blogs are loving it. But one thing I'm going to tell you this, innit, yeah? She rejected the most high value of black men for no other reason than the fact that she didn't want to get married, right, yeah? And then she's gone and taken, and obviously that's an interest, is a downgrade. But what she's done is, he's a rising star, rising king. She's now attached herself to him when he's actually a star and he's got a lot to offer. She doesn't do anything other than what she there for. Yeah, she's just been there. Yeah, so she's just been coexisting. So now she attached herself to something. She could have never been on par with Michael B. Jordan, and obviously she's gonna attach herself. So and now Michael B. Jordan started dating some 26-year-old British white model.
Yeah,
and everyone's
Amber Jepsen is her name.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, you know, he never liked black women anyway. I knew it was all fake. And I was like, listen to this, right? Let's stop that.
That backlash.
Yeah, he proposed to her. Yeah, he picks her up when a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, she's a 3 or 4. How could you wife her?" He put his reputation, his career on the line. He did all of that. He bought her a ring. He did all of that. And what did she do? She said, "No, the streets were way."
She embarrassed him. Yeah, she embarrassed him.
So how is it now? He's gone and he's got with a white girl, cool, and now he's doing his thing. Everybody wants to make a big deal about it, but you got to remember, the woman he wanted, who was a black queen, who was also been in the streets, who was known, she rejected it. Like, so how are we now gonna start clowning him and start? No,
she will never get to his level ever. She will never get there.
Yeah, she's fucked up for life. That regret will be for life. But I'm glad he didn't stay down too long, regardless of who he picked, because some men obviously stay broken so long that they can't move forward. So as long as he managed to, I think that's the bonus. Anything else is just not.
No, of course you can move forward, but I'm saying, why is it okay to now start to try to bring a man down after the woman that he wanted to marry was a black woman and I
just think they're just naive and biased.
And they're clowning him, but Serena, you guys praise every single day. That's what he was saying. So I was just saying that.
I understood that, but I just feel like this was just about him being with a white person. It's got nothing to do with how he feels, who he is, and how he felt when he was broken. Because where were the violins when she rejected him, embarrassed him, and everything else for Michael B. Jordan? When she rejected him, there was no outcry.
No sympathy.
So that's what I'm saying. Nobody cared then. I think keep the same energy now. Well, it doesn't matter who he's with. Because...
Let me just take this. Yo, big bro, like, I'm not judging women for having 4 baby. I should say 5. Like, I'm not judging for having 4 baby daddies or 5 baby daddies. Listen to this. Like, you can have 10 baby daddies if you want. That is your choice. I'm not gonna walk up to you and point my finger and you say, "Oh my God, you got 10 baby daddies, you whore." No. But if you come to me, if I meet you outside in a festival, for example, and then we start speaking, and you tell me you have 10 baby daddies, I have a preference and a standard you don't make up. So if you want to, that's not judging. That's calling having a preference and standard that a woman falls short of. I'm allowed to have that. That's called equality. That's called choice. If a woman does OnlyFans or she works in the corn industry, I don't have to put my finger at her and say, "Oh my God."
He's talking about me. He's not talking about you.
Oh no! I'm saying no.
I'm siding with you. I'm actually responding to what you're saying. Like,
personally, I know there's some men that can hack that, right? I'm not one of those men. If they want to say you're not man, I can't be a stepdad and I can't do that, bro. That's not who I am. I can't do it. I know I can't, right?
What you want.
Can I say something, China, real quick? Because you're going to be 39 this year, right?
Yeah, I can't do that.
Can we talk about, because I'm 42. I don't have any children. When you're an accomplished, successful black male, you don't get to China and I's age with no kids without calculated planning. Understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
All these guys, it just happened. I got some girl pregnant. I know it doesn't just happen. You need to be careful. You need to have discernment. You need to sleep with women who are responsible, protect yourself. It takes a lot to get to my age and not have children. So let's stop the cap here. It's easier to slip up and make a mistake and have kids than accomplish something in life. And you know what? If you've made good decisions, you can judge people.
Hmm.
Okay, when I say he, she, them, the people, I would never talk about the bottom 15% of people. If you're impoverished, you lack resources, all that stuff, I would never. But the majority of people in America are what you call middle class. And the thing about being middle class is you can choose to be successful or you can choose to make decisions to put yourself in a hole. Okay, make good decisions to put yourself in a position where when you're 42 like me, you can decide if you want to date single mothers or not. And I would expect the same thing for a woman. Once again, I don't think a woman should date a man with four baby daddies either. Equality. There you go.
Yeah, plus it's good because you not saying, who would know? Who would understand? So
Hmm.
it's good to speak up, innit? Because then people learn what, as I always say, people only learn when they hear. Remember, people are raised differently. Yeah, even where I am right now, you couldn't even have this conversation with anybody in Jamaica. They go and have children because they believe, oh, we have to create, we have to make, we have to this, we have to that. They live their life like that. They don't understand what you're talking about unless they're in a certain place and live in a certain area. Where I live, they're more uptown. Everybody in this whole entire place where I live in uptown are married.
Hmm.
Everybody, everybody. And I'm talking, these are barristers, there's a judge, there's a doctor over there, um, pilot over there. Those are the type of people that are married. And those are the type of people that value what you're talking about. Go down the road a little bit further, you can't talk what you're saying to them. So they have to learn it from someone. They wouldn't understand unless you teach. So it would also help the girls to, that's why they say family planning clinics are not where they should be. And those who understand what family planning is will use it.
I agree.
A lot of people don't understand. I'm telling you.
But
They will
even
sit
back,
there and be in love and be like, oh, I'm so in love. He loves me. Oh my God. He wants us to have a child so that we can both have one. And that's all they're thinking. That's all they're seeing. The fairy tale is blinking.
hmm
No,
They're in fairyland.
no,
do you
I
think?
see it. No, you don't. No, nobody wants to be the richest person in the graveyard. Of course not. That's not what you're trying to. Not what you're trying to do. And you can have kids and stack money. Like obviously, I have friends who have kids that have stacked money, but like it's like
Yeah.
most man most men that have like multiple baby moms, they're not really the best man doing the most. Innit? I've got friends like my cousin's got like all baby moms, like and he's trust me, he's doing his thing, and they all, you know what I mean, all good. But at the same time, I could argue and tell you that he overcompensates financially, and some of these
Yeah.
kids are they get away with some of the stuff we didn't. But what else can you do when you don't have enough time to spend with them? Whenever you spend with them, you just got to
They
spend
miss
money.
out on quality love. Yeah.
Yeah, like
The
so
dance.
it's like financially he's doing it, but some of these kids are a bit entitled. But he hasn't got enough time to be disciplining them because he's not with them enough. So he has to always just show love all the time, right? So in the end, it becomes like I'm like, man, when I was that age, I didn't know nothing about Yeezys. I didn't know nothing about Montclair. How the hell is this kid asking for this? It's because you're gonna create a thing where I'm not around all the time. When I am, we're shopping, we're enjoying. So it's like
How old are they?
they all range from like teens down to
Okay, but I'm telling you, what's they get that smartphone, the social media gets into them, and the anti-parenting starts. Parents have to be there now more than ever, and which is why where I live in the DMV area, like in Washington D.C., and I have a lot of guys in my cycling group and my running group, African American men, professional like me, and they want to take the step towards having children, but it's such a it's more of a risk now more than ever because of the biggest mistake you can do as a man is have children with the wrong woman. I'm not saying don't have children,
It's,
but you just have to calculate that risk
yeah.
and and take it because now more than ever, that's one thing about society. Uh, Um, Having children has raising children has gotten harder. This I would say it would go on both sides. A woman needs to really calculate who she lets inside of her body and has a kid with, and a man does too. But with current society, social media, all you see that 6-year-old that um, there was a teacher at some school, and some 6-year-old brought up to school, and his teacher,
Oh
he's
yeah,
6 years old. I don't
yeah.
want to say it, so you can post it
And
on YouTube.
it finished the teacher,
6 years
basically.
old.
6 year olds came
What
into the
was
school
going on in that
to do that.
house, my G?
Mm. That's mad aggression.
Yeah. So, but yeah, everything you're saying, I
I
agree
just
with.
think everyone should learn to exercise some sexual discipline. Let's not have babies by men that you don't want to be with, and let's not breed up girls that you get me and leave them there. And let's not leave
Yeah,
kids with their fathers and broken homes. And let's try to build a community better. And that's it. That's it. You know.
yeah,
And if you are gonna have multiple women, whatever, then just make sure you provide for them equally. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean?
mm,
If you're gonna do that, then just make sure they have a standard of living and you're there, you're present. That's it. That's all we can
yeah.
ask for. You know.
I completely identify what you're saying, China. When I was trying to basically elaborate or whatever, and I wanted your point on this, it was because it's not close to home as such, but it's close enough because after my marriage, because we raised the children in one home, so being married and everything, they reached a certain age, and then as I said before, took over. But that's many years on. So they both had us both, right?
Okay.
Mm,
After the marriage, and the reason for the marriage ending, I don't talk about. But let's just put it this way, it was not because of us. We had to because of what happened to him.
mm,
Um, so he had to go quiet for a while because of his condition. And then when he kind of started to show signs of stability again, that's when he went a little bit off and had other children.
Mm.
Boom, 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 boom. They were just left, right, and center. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? What's happened? you know? But I was that type of, should I say, ex-wife that the children are not at fault here. So I used to communicate with the mums regardless. And I used to have the children. So even on weekends, I'd say, bring the children because now they're siblings. What can I do? They're here. You made that choice, but I'll take them. I'll have them so they could grow around each other and know each other. Now the children are older in their 20s. They are like this. Even now I'm out here, they're together. They're inseparable. So in terms of parenting, let's just say I was the one mother for all these children. They all call me mother. They all call me mum. But I had to really let me just put it this way. I was numb. So I had no feelings in it. Like, if we're finished, that's it. There's nothing more to it. So I had no drama. No drama, no difficult times. Other people probably would have had a very hard time with that. But I think I had to look at it this way. Whatever he was going through, it created that person that he became.
mm.
You know, it definitely did because he was not that guy, not at all. And even now, the children are grown. All he wants to do is settle down and get married again. That's all he wants, nothing else. And he's changed his life from what he was all these last few years. It's all changed. But I'm just saying, like, if I could go through that and see that, even from a distance, because it's not in my home, but it's there, I could honestly say some people go through something. I watched him go through hell.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't
Well,
abandon him, but it was mad.
what should give you peace of mind is, so I have two terms.
Mhm.
There's giving up and there's letting go. What would you think would be the difference between giving up and letting go? What would you think would be the difference?
For who? Me or him?
Just in general, a person giving up and letting go. Let me just say, giving
Yeah.
up means you haven't given it everything you got, and if you leave, you're gonna regret it because you didn't give it everything you have. But letting go is when you gave it everything you had, and for the sake of yourself and the people
Hmm.
around you and your children, you had to let it go. And if you know in your heart that you let it go, you should be at peace. If you did
Yeah.
everything you possibly and
Did.
tell yourself you didn't give up, you let it go. It's a
Yeah,
whole
definitely.
different mindset.
Definitely did.
Hmm.
hmm I
So
let
you
go.
should be, yeah, you should be at peace.
hmm
Hmm?
Let it go, let it go.
But
Ah,
the,
China.
but the support is there. You know, the support is there, but definitely let go.
But
Because, yeah.
Angel, if I could ask you a question,
Hmm.
that time I could be Jordan. Um, so you don't, because I just think from the mentality I see, just like how most black women will go to university, they'll have boyfriends and they'll break up with their boyfriends because they want to live their best life after they get out of college.
Okay.
You think that Michael B. Jordan could have found a 25 to 26-year-old woman of Lori Harvey's similar
Hmm.
demographic, so somewhat famous, attractive, who wants to settle down? 'Cause
Easily.
Yes,
no,
just in a different
no,
place, not where he would.
I don't think
Yeah,
so. I think
What?
there are
all the
plenty.
women.
There are plenty, but
Mhm.
it's not the type that you're talking. She's not going to be in uni and just finishing uni with the ambition to become what she studied for. Because remember, she's driven by, I got a PhD, remember that? Right? So all that, what she studied, she wants to exhaust it now. So
Mhm.
that's
I'll,
not,
I'll just be real with you. I'll just be real with you, yeah. If Future proposed to her, she would have married him. She didn't want Michael B. Jordan.
China.
Yeah. And that's what comes down to the truth, yeah. Like, and I'll be honest, I'm glad she did that because let's be real. She don't want to be married to him for this. That's not the type of man that's not what she wants. Like,
Yep.
yeah. But if Future proposed, one of these, if Diddy proposed, damn, she was saying yes. Do you get me?
but,
Diddy.
But you know why, China? You know why? Because Future is chaos. P. Diddy is chaos. Michael B. Jordan is structure.
okay,
And these free spirit
I
type,
agree.
like
They love Kilo.
they love chaos. They love it.
Yeah, that's one thing. But can I ask you guys something as well?
Hmm.
Have you ever been with a difficult woman? A
Oh.
woman that just makes your
What?
life
What?
hell.
Are you
So,
okay? Are you
so
okay? Why? Why are
do
you
you
doing something
believe
that
that
what I did?
do you believe that there are men like that?
What? No, but listen to this. Like, okay, of course they're difficult men, but being
Right.
difficult and being whatever is a masculine energy, right? Yeah.
And
So
whatever he's achieved,
we say,
no matter what Michael B. Jordan has achieved, what's he like in his home?
yeah, but what we're doing right now is, yeah, okay.
We're just trying to
You
say,
can't
like,
do what
you
about
don't
it.
know.
This is what
She
Let me
about
didn't
it.
leave
explain.
Michael B. Jordan, but she didn't leave Michael B. Jordan and says, "Oh my God, he's such abusive. He's such." No, she left him
He's
because he
he's
he
chaotic.
gave
Not abuse, but
no thing.
Yeah.
the square in him,
Okay,
the
Yeah.
all
square
right,
in
No,
okay,
him
no, no, no.
is not
all
Michael
right.
B.
what she
Listen,
Jordan's not
wants.
that guy.
listen,
He's not
No,
that
listen,
I
guy.
said
Don't
square,
even
listen.
as in
insinuate
Wait.
it.
the
Don't even.
Wait, stop.
simplicity
No,
in
no, no,
him.
no, 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 no.
No,
You're
Nope.
not
no. Okay,
listening.
okay, okay.
What's
Let's
a
take this out.
square?
All right.
What's a
Huh?
square?
He's the
What's a
squarest of
square? I said
squares
the
of
square
squares.
in him, as
Yeah.
in the
So,
way his life is structured,
no. How
not
about we
going
just
with
say
her
that
character.
no, no. How about we say she runs away from commitment? Yeah. She belongs to the
Yes,
street. She got bored of him already, and now she's hitched herself to a younger damson age. She's on the come up now, and
she
her
knew she was
fame
going to be bored.
actually
Who's
is more than
chaos?
his fame. How
Yeah,
about that?
she knew she couldn't live with the type of life that she was going to live with him. That's
No,
my
but what
point.
I'm saying to you
So
is,
And,
it's
we're
and
like
not
what we're
being with an
saying is that's
artist, China.
structure. That's
Yes,
structure.
that's what I'm saying. She's
But you're
chaotic.
saying, but
Somebody
you
who
said
has
that.
chaos
But
and
people,
likes chaos can't be with somebody who likes structure. It's like being with an artist. If the picture's like this a little bit, oh my God, it's going to drive them nuts.
okay.
Everything has to be like
Okay,
this.
so
No, it's like
okay,
OCD.
so
It could be
all right,
anything.
listen, guys, let me speak here. When we're talking on people, no one can ever know. People in the comments like, oh, how do
Yes.
you know? Okay, so but what we're gonna comment on the same stuff that social media comments on, or what the news comments on, the topics in, and the topic is. There's not been any sentiment that he's aggressive, he's unagreeable, he's anything. The only sentiment that has been is he proposed to her. She said that she's too young, she's not ready for it, and she didn't want to do it. That's it.
Oh,
That's the
that's all
narrative.
she said. Remember, I
and
No,
don't know.
and
So that's all she
and
said. No
yeah, yeah.
explanation.
and yeah,
No, that is
and Mike,
explanation. That's it.
yep,
Yeah,
and
that's it.
Michael
I
B.
mean, like,
Jordan is so
broader.
far away
She done
from
no
all the.
interviews.
What's that?
Sorry. She did no interviews, nothing. Just that.
She
You
did
don't
like a
have to have an
little.
interview.
Yeah.
No, I'm
So here's
saying
the
she
thing.
never said anything more than those points that you said. So she's not justifying it correctly
So
then. We
what
don't.
I think she doesn't have to justify it. She can leave him for any reason she wants, right?
Yeah.
What I'm trying
So
to
that's
say
what I
to
mean. We
you,
don't know then.
okay, okay,
We just
but
got a vague idea.
I know,
But we're
but what
not
you're doing is
100%.
you're creating a whole separate narrative that's not even been. No one has said anything about this, and you're saying, "Well, he could have done this." Yes, he could have, but not
No,
one
I'm,
person.
I'm just saying we don't know, so we can't know what it was. It's like me.
Okay.
Hold on, hold
Okay.
on, hold on. I have
No,
said I've
hold
never
on,
told
wait.
anybody why I
No,
split
but
with my husband. Hold on,
Angel,
apart from my parents. So we will assume, isn't it? You're gonna assume. What would you assume it was? Hmm,
Angel. We could say he strangled her. We could say we could say all manner of things.
anything.
No,
Yeah.
but why are we gonna come up with stuff that no one has said? What's that like? What
No,
like?
we're not coming up. I'm
No,
just
but you
saying
are.
it could
Angel,
You're
be
creating a
anything because
hypothetical
China,
scenario. What you're
China.
doing
Here's
yeah,
the
is
thing.
we
Here's
no,
the
have to
but
thing.
'cause we don't know
no,
the
but
story.
Here's the
We
why?
don't.
thing. Here's the
We're
thing.
Why
talking
you do
about
that?
them, and we
Every
don't know
other
the
guy that
story.
Lori Harvey has dated has shown in their lives, in front of everybody, that they're chaotic. You're
But
talking
what I'm
about. Hold
saying,
on, just Angel, real
yeah,
quick, real quick.
sorry.
Wait, wait, wait. Every other guy that Lori Harvey has dated has shown chaos. So you're saying, well, Michael B. Jordan may be chaotic. We just don't know. Well,
Now, I
what I'm
just said
saying is every
she
other
can't
guy
live
she's
with the
dated has been chaotic.
simplicity. I
Huh?
just said she can't live with the simplicity. That's what I said. He's too square for her. Square.
No, but
Okay,
then
okay, I
Am I
agree.
getting this wrong?
that's not what you said. You tried to
No.
imply that Michael B.
I've given
Jordan.
you two scenarios. I
No, but
said,
what?
without knowing what
Okay.
it's like
Oh,
living with
all
him,
right.
that's
No,
the
but I
first
could
thing I
have said.
said. Hold on,
No,
hold
but
on.
I could have said.
The
I
first
could have
thing I
said.
said was, without knowing what it's like to live in the home with him.
But you
He
never
could be
know.
this or
No,
he
but
could be
hold on
that.
a
I
second.
said both. I said, she is not.
No. Because what you're doing is, yeah, whenever you comment on
I'm
public, wait a
giving
minute,
different scenarios, yes.
you're interrupting me. I need to speak. Whenever you comment on the public, no one ever knows. It's
Right.
always going to be, wait, hold on a second, the air of speculation. So when you then say, you don't know, of course I don't know, you don't know, the news don't know. But what we do know and what we can comment on is the narrative that's been set. What you're trying to do is create a whole separate narrative that not Laurie Harvey or him has been done. So why are you doing that? Why can't you just accept the fact that
Because we're
she
discussing
wanted
it.
to get married? Because basically, I could say Laurie Harvey banged 5 men under him. She could have, but that's not the narrative. So why am I going to do
Exactly.
that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because remember, we already answered this question before. Like we've already had, so because we're over elaborating and we're still talking,
No,
why not?
you're over
Why not?
elaborating.
No,
No,
you're
no.
This
This
is
was the
weird. You're
first.
doing it.
This was the first topic when we came on here.
No,
So
but
you put it back up. So I thought, oh, are we trying to exhaust the point here of why and what could be the reasons? Because
No,
otherwise, there was no reason to bring it
no.
back up.
We already know
It's
the
the same
reason.
point.
We already know the
no.
reason. We
You
know the
know the
reason.
reason.
He
He
wanted a
doesn't suit her
commitment.
type,
She
which is
wasn't
why you
ready.
said she would probably accept
You're not
future.
listening. You said the reason. You haven't listened. She said
No,
the
I
reason.
heard it. I heard it.
Yes,
And then
yes,
you said she would probably accept if it was future.
yeah, but then you
Because
said,
that's the
yeah,
type of
but
guy that she would be with. But I
then
just
you tried
said,
to create a
have you
narrative
ever
where,
lived with somebody
okay,
who is
but you tried
difficult?
to create a
And you
narrative
guys
where
said
Michael
yes.
B. Jordan could be some type of aggressor. I was
Monster or
like,
something.
No, I said
No.
difficult or annoying to live with. So whether the person is too nice or too horrible, that's something you cannot bear.
Whoa! Wait a
That's not what.
minute. You can't.
I
Whoa.
said two different
Yeah, yeah.
scenarios. I created two different scenarios.
So
I
why?
said whether somebody's
That's
too
not what.
difficult,
But
whether
why?
somebody's not too difficult,
So this
or whether somebody's too nice.
okay.
It's
So this
unbearable
conversation.
for the
All right,
person.
all right. So, but
So
this
that's the
conversation
reason
didn't
why
mean.
she declined.
Yeah, but this
That's the
conversation
reason.
didn't need two separate scenarios. All it needed for us to speak about what we know and what's
But
been
we
put out
said
there.
that first.
No, but I could create speculation. Why am I doing that? When you do that, what we do is we're deriving from the actual what we know. Why am I going to create speculation on? No, I'm going to talk about what we do know and what's been put out there. Yeah,
That she would have been better suited in future.
let's not try to create new types of things because we could say he beat her up and this is like that. This is coming like that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing. Let's not do that. Let's talk about what we know. Let's not stop trying to make up new
All
things
right.
that
I don't know anything.
Okay, and what we know is
I don't know. I just know what you guys have told me about them.
so let me tell you
So I
what we
don't
know,
know.
right? Yeah. So what we know is that he proposed to her. She wasn't ready. She didn't want to do it. And then that's what it was. It had nothing to do with aggressive, it had nothing to do with anything other than that. And that's what so what we're saying is, if you turn down Michael B. Jordan, who many consider to be the most high value black man company out there, then you go that to go be with Damson Idris, who is a young king, and then you attach yourself to him, who is coming up. So then
Yeah.
what we say is, if Michael B. Jordan now is dating some white girl, but all the blogs now saying, oh yeah, he didn't like black women in the first place, after the black woman who he wanted
Yeah.
to,
He was with the black woman, yeah.
then what all we were saying to you, and that was the conversation. But now we're
Yeah,
trying to
we answered that already, so I understood all this. Like we visited that in the beginning. How long have we been on the line? That was when we visited this, right in the beginning. We started with that. So we crossed that bridge so long ago. I understood all that. So I was thinking, what more are we exhausting? Same question again?
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about the same question. I was just
No,
saying,
I meant like
why
we were going to
create
do the
a
same.
separate narrative? I don't understand. If we're trying to discuss something,
It
we don't
didn't,
need to start creating a separate narrative, because
but there was
that's just
nothing
our
else.
feeling, right?
It's the
Let's
same
just focus
points.
on what we know.
Okay.
We can
Okay.
comment on what we know. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Same.
Let me move the conversation forward. Why is there a double standard for when black women are pursued or married white men, and
Serena
in
Williams.
yeah, or when
All
black
right.
men do it? Now,
We
let me
said
preface
this
this.
already.
Preface this. In the United States, 82% of black men are married to black women. 82%. So this myth that, oh, when black guys get money or get successful, they leave for white men. It's a myth. It's a myth. The majority of black men, the majority, somewhere in the 70s and the 80s, black women made this narrative up. 82% of black men in the United States are married to black women. So once again, why is this such a double standard where a black woman who's married to a white guy is celebrated, but a black guy who's dated or married to a white woman is torn down?
I answered that before.
Did you?
Yeah.
Answer again for the answer again.
Nope. You answer it,
No,
China.
no. You
I'm
said that you
taking
don't
in
care.
information right now. I'm not saying shit.
No.
Hey!
Angel.
Yeah.
You said that you don't care either way, which is
No.
good. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
You said
I
that
said
you'd
I
never
don't.
judge because in the end that person has to lay down with the person. Blah blah. I understand
Yeah.
that, but that
It's
doesn't
both.
answer where you think the overall trend in the consciousness of the UK and the United States comes from. That's what I
Because
want to
people.
know.
Because the main thing is
Answer. They want to
find
hear.
it very difficult to look into themselves and see the real reason why it failed in the first place.
Wait,
So, as you
say
said,
that
they've
again.
turned because people turned a blind eye already on the situation, right? As in, why did they end up in that situation to then have to pick somebody else?